Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead reading. This is the week commencing the 8th of September and we're going to get cracking straight into your reading. The reading last week was very cryptic, so let's see how this one goes. Right, we are using the Sacred Creators Oracle deck, so let's see what messages are here for Gemini. Please and thank you. You have bliss is worth creating. From or for? It says from. It's that's a really, again, it's cryptic, Gemini, of course it is. It's got bliss is worth creating. From crossed out. For crossed out. From. Isn't that interesting? It's like you're changing your mind on, you know, am I doing it for or am I getting it from? That's a little bit of a, yeah, let's see what that gets the old mind ticking over. And then you have inflow with money. Love that for you. Isn't it? I just feel like you're in the, yes, you're in the flow with money next week is what it's saying. However, there's still something you're uncertain about. Anyway, let's see. Your readings always really make me think. Okay, dear spirit guides and angels, please join me in this reading for Gemini and make it helpful, hopeful, and healing. What is the focus, please and thank you, for Gemini? We have the Seven of Wands, and here comes Bella. She's been a real pain because she hasn't been out for a walk yet, so she's just crazing everybody in the house. Opportunity, please and thank you. For Gemini, we have the Tower. Interesting. Maybe that's why you're undecided. It's a big change. And the challenge for Gemini is the Two of Pentacles. What's bubbling under the surface for Gemini, please and thank you. Okay. No, I'm not taking three, just one if possible, please and thank you. What's bubbling under the surface? That came out again. It came out. You know what, when people say you need to take the cards that jump out, and then if I feel they're not right, and if I feel there's too many, they go back in, because if they're going to come out, they're going to come out. And it came out. Bubbling under the surface, Seven of Swords. Okay. And advice and outcome. Please. Nope, like that one. They wanted to come out in threes. There's something about three for you, Gemini. Okay. Two of Cups is your advice and outcome. Now, Seven of Wands. You can see she is absolutely sticking to her guns there. The focus is on you stick to what you mean. Yeah, don't let anybody poke you with their negative energy. She's sitting in her power there. She's ignoring the naysayers. These wands down here are trying to get at her, like push her off her pedestal, if you like. And she's like, no, absolutely not. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm sticking to, you know, wands are our creativity, our oomph, our tenacity. And she's like, no. So the focus is stick to what you mean. It's quite a defensive energy, but I feel like you need to put some boundaries up, Gemini, to stop that from happening. And put your foot down. The Tower is your opportunity. My gosh, how exciting. Now, the Tower, the Tower in tarot, I would always say, you know, that, yeah, tarot readers will say, oh, it's chaos, it's big change, it's this, it's that. It might be, but there's two things to remember about the Tower. Number one, Tower moment will be completely different to each individual person. For one person, a Tower moment might be, oh my gosh, I don't know, something really minuscule, but it's not minuscule to them because it means so much to them. Do you see where I'm coming from? So there's an opportunity to change something and a big change there for you. Number 2, it's always about growth. When we see the Tower, it's an exciting card. It's like, okay, right, something needs to change now. Something's not working. We need to look at it, why it's not working. We need to build on it. We need to do something about it. At least you're not sitting back, not doing anything. Now, the Two of Pentacles is your challenge. The Two of Pentacles, you can see, she's juggling things. She's, Pentacles as money, finances, can be your time and energy. So as a challenge, it can be like you're having to reprioritize something. Are you going to have to, is this a financial implication here? You're going to have to, juggle some finances here, which can prove to be very challenging. It can be that. It can also be a message that, your priorities need to change. Things are going to, maybe you're going to have to spend more time at work and less time at home, and that can be a challenge, especially if you have children and you're in a loving family. And a relationship also, it can be, but also it can also be, and this is why we clarify, that at the moment, there's no balance between your work and your play. Now, the Seven of Swords is what's bubbling under the surface. Very interesting, because this is the card of sneaky behavior. Is there somebody around you that you're just not trusting at the moment? Or is there something around you that you're thinking, okay, I'm going to have to be a bit strategic about that, because I'm not trusting, I'm not going to be completely open about this because I don't trust people around me to, I don't know, give you, I don't know, maybe they will steal your ideas. You're worried about somebody stealing your idea. I don't know. But the Two of Cups is your advice and outcome. The Two of Cups is very much about soulmate energy. As an advice card, I feel like they're saying be around people that are on the same level as you next week. Maybe for some of you will actually, this might come as a result of a relationship, and then you just find that actually you're both in agreement with it. You're both blending together on the same page. But let's have a look. Seven of Wands. Again, it can be people at work with the Seven of Wands. When you're like, they're just, especially if you're a spokesperson at work, that you're the one that has all the ideas, the creativity. They can try and steal your thunder if you like. But stick to your guns is what the message of the Seven of Wands is. That's clarified by the Four of Pentacles. Interesting that she's ignoring people, and she's also keeping those pentacles very close to her chest. Again, I feel with that Seven of Swords bubbling under the surface, there's something that you're holding on to and you're sticking to your guns about it. It can be, literally the finances. It can be that you are the one that needs to be in control of the financial situation. And literally, maybe somebody's trying to manipulate you in that respect. But you're like, no, I'm holding on to it. This is my domain, if you like. Because it's the need for stability too, with the Four of Pentacles. Let's do one more on that. Why do we have the Four of Pentacles with the Seven of Wands for Gemini? Three of Cups. Interesting we get the Three of Cups out. Again, I thought with that Two of Cups, and again it's a 3. I said that at the beginning, there's something to do with threes here. Is there somebody within this community around you that you feel like you need to stick to your guns with, and not be quite so generous with your time and energy with them too, with that Three of Cups. What's the Tower all about for Gemini then, please? You've got the World. When we see the Tower with the World, that is wrapping things up. There's something coming to an end that is going to be big change, but it's when we see the World, it's about moving on in a journey that you've learned massive lessons from, And now it's like, right, now's the time to just put a bow on this, wrap it all up, and let's move on to the next stage. Let's go, you know, to our next step, into our next stage of life, if you like. I was going to say it's quite dramatic, but again, it's however your mindset feels about what that tower moment is. Whatever it is, there's a very final thing to this going on, but it's because you've got to stick to your guns here. I'm going to do one more on that for Gemini. Why do we have the tower with the world? Oh my gosh. We got another major arcana. That's the moon. Now, the moon is attributed to Pisces, but it's also about as an opportunity of things coming to the surface, because that's what the moon does. And actually, we've just had a full moon, or we're having a full moon. It's in Pisces. No, the eclipse is in Pisces. That's about all I know is the astrology. What I know about astrology, I can write on a stamp. So that's all I know, is that it's in Pisces. How bizarre. Maybe this is your time to change things. When we get full moons, you know, as much as I do know about the moon, moonology, if you like, is that it's the time to write down what you want and manifest what you want. Get rid of things that you don't want. Ready for that new beginning. Wow, Gemini. Two of Pentacles is your challenge. Well, whatever this big change is, it could have a financial implication. Yes, she's juggling the finances there. Let's see if it's financial. Let's see if it's relationship. Two of Pentacles, why are you here, please and thank you? I want to say as well with that moon card, it's an opportunity to end any confusion that you may have been feeling. There's clarity here for you next week, Gemini. Two of Pentacles clarified by the King of Cups with your challenge. Could be relationship. What this could mean as well is that you are very up and down with your emotions about this next week. You know, one minute you might feel like, yep, you know, I've made the right decision, and the next minute it'd be like, oh, you know, and you know, when I just got like this, oh, and you're on a ship, and then it gets to the top of the wave, doesn't it? And then it's like your stomach just leaves your body as it goes down again. And I just feel, you know, there's a little bit of angst going on, perhaps, with that King of Cups. It can be for some of you, because the King of Cups is very, as a challenge, can be somebody who can be quite emotionally blackmailing, can be a heavy drinker too. You could be dealing with that next week with somebody who's can be, you know, they're emotionally, they're very needy with their emotions, very up and down, you know, treading on eggshells. Seven of Swords is bubbling under the surface. Interesting, you've got the moon card as an opportunity, and then bubbling under the surface you have the moon here. And it's like, again, something's shining a light on a bit of deceptivity. I make my own dictionary up when I do tarot. My brain just goes. Deception, perhaps. Or somebody with not the best intentions around you. Perhaps that's where the confusion has been lying. Let's have a look. Seven of Swords. They call it the lying, cheating, stealing card. I have to say, though, with your tower as an opportunity, it's like, wow, is there something coming to light where, you know, because nobody will ever get away with that, will they? And that's like, there's a very karmic energy to this too. Two of Swords. Okay. It's like you're in two minds about this. Maybe you're not sure if that's what they're doing. Maybe it's like, well, are they? I don't know. Can't make my mind up. And if I do know, I don't know what I'm going to do about it anyway. So I don't know which way to go. Let's do one more on that. Two of Swords. Clarified by the Eight of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. I did say at the top here about somebody stealing your thunder. Maybe that's the stealing element of the Seven of Swords. Somebody trying to get away with something that but it will always come to light. And you've got the Moon card here, and this is when things come to the surface. And this is what I always say about the Seven of Swords too, that if somebody is doing that, then that's why the Moon is shining on them. It's bringing it to the surface. You've got the Eight of Swords clarifying that Seven of Swords. This is, again, I just feel like in your head you're going round and round and round. You're talking yourself out of saying something, or trying to even stick your head in the sand about this situation. Because the Eight of Swords is feeling trapped, look. She feels so trapped, but this is only in her own mind. She's putting hurdles in the way that aren't really there. And if you've got somebody around you, and it's, you think, nah, no, they wouldn't do that. No, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't say that. Oh, yes, they will. And it's just leaving with that Two of Swords. I just feel like you know about it. Intuitively you know, but you just don't know what to do about it. Now, the Six of Pentacles is also bubbling under the surface. This is a very karmic energy. This is about getting back what you put in. This is about money also being coming back to you. It's somebody, have you lent, some of you might have lent somebody some money and they're making up all excuses not to pay you back, and you just know they're not telling the truth. There's something, a lack of balance, something about your wanting the balance to be had here. But again, with those scales there, just be patient, because I just feel like it's going to balance out. Six of Pentacles also can be like somebody who has promised you something, giving you the money, and you're not getting it back. You're not, it's like, well, hang on a minute. I've taken on this job and you said X, Y, Z, and that ain't happening. Very interesting. Two of Cups is your advice and outcome. Do what fills your soul. Blend with those people that are on the same page as you. Two of Cups, why are you here, please and thank you. But you start with the Three of Cups, you go down to the Two of Cups. Maybe you have got to say goodbye to somebody who's not being particularly gracious in their intents, let's say. Clarified by the Two of Pentacles. Wow. Which is your challenge here with that King of Cups. When I see the Two of Pentacles as an advice card, it's saying, with that Two of Cups, there is balance to be had, and it's coming in form of a soulmate coming for you. But you are going to have to either change your mindset, balance, reprioritize something, reprioritize your time and energy that you spend around those people. It's not going to happen without you doing something that you're going to have to face juggling, which is your challenge here. Let's do one more on that. Two of Pentacles, please and thank you. Well, I also like the Two of Pentacles as advice and outcome, because it says you might think that you can't do it both, or you can't have both, but you can. You just got to juggle it. Six of Wands. Wow, that's what we want to end on. What a beautiful card. This is the card of success. This is the card that other people, maybe your soulmate is in somebody that's online, somebody that you communicate regularly with that you're not actually seeing, but they are your biggest cheerleader. Because the Six of Wands with that Two of Cups, I feel like you have a soulmate around you that you're not really realizing it even. But the Six of Wands is about coming through victorious after a long battle, and other people recognizing your success. And it's being in the public eye too. There's something about other people seeing this. If you're looking for your soulmate and you're sitting indoors on the sofa all day, it's not going to happen, is it? It's like saying, get out there, get in the public eye. People, you know, you're successful, Gemini. Sell yourself a bit more. Anyway, let's see. We are going to finish on the Rose Oracle, which was my very first Oracle deck. So let's see, what's the message, please and thank you, for Gemini. Brothers of the Rose, sacred masculine, honor, protection, and support. Beautiful cards, aren't they? These are quite deep, though, I have to say, which you're used to anyway, Gemini. Brothers of the Rose. Let's have a look at the message of that card. It says, this card could be a sign that you're being called to work on the sacred masculine energy within you that's maturing and rising. It could be that you're being called to work on ancestral healing of the paternal line. It could be an indication that you're being called to invoke or acknowledge the sacred masculine in those around you. Or it could represent the sacred masculine appearing in your life. The sacred masculine, I wonder how many times we can say that, exists within all of us. They are encircling you so that you can do your sacred work, so that you can be part of the return of the goddess of this earth. The rose is their emblem. Sorry about Bella whining. And they wear it proudly on their hearts. It says, your soul inquiry, how are you being called to work with the sacred masculine? Maybe that's what that Two of Cups is. Very much about soul. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, Gemini. That was a long one. Take care, have a fabulous week, and I'll see you next week.